In Harmonies, players will compete to build the best landscape and attract the most animals to their landscape. The player with the most points at the end of the game will win. Players will score points for the various different features that they construct in their landscape, as well as for each animal cube that they get to add onto their board. In Harmonies, players will take turns. On their turn, a player must choose one of these batches of 3 tiles, which represent different types of landscape terrain, and place them onto their board. Tiles can be placed following some rules. Any tile can go onto any unoccupied space. Tiles don't have to touch each other. I could say place this tile here, and this tile over here, and that tile over there. That's just fine. Some tiles can also be stacked on top of each other. For example, brown tiles can be played on top of other brown tiles. Gray tiles can be played on top of other gray tiles, and a red tile can be played on top of a gray tile, a brown tile, or another red tile. In addition, gray tiles can be stacked up to 3 tiles high, and green tiles can be played on top of 1 or 2 other brown tiles. These various different features will score players points. For example, a green tile represents a tree. A single green tile by itself is just worth 1 point. However, if it's on top of a brown tile, aka wood, being a taller tree, it is now worth 3 points. And if it's on top of 2, it is worth 7 points. Notably, brown tiles without any green tile on top of them are worth no points at all. Mountains are worth points based on how large they are as well. A single mountain tile is worth 1 point, a 2-tile mountain is worth 3, and a 3-tile mountain is worth 7. However, in order to score, a mountain must be in a chain of mountains. That is, it must be adjacent to at least one other mountain on the board. A mountain by itself is just a hill, and it doesn't score you any points. The yellow tiles represent fields or grasslands. A group of yellow tiles that are touching each other, 2 or more, that is worth 5 points, regardless of how large that group of yellow tiles is. However, one yellow tile by itself is worth no points at all. A red tile on top of another tile, be it a red tile, a brown tile, or a gray tile, represents a building. A building is worth 5 points if it is touching at least 3 different colors of tiles. If it's touching fewer than that, it is worth no points at all. Lastly, we have water tiles. Water tiles will score differently based on the side of the board that you are choosing to play on. On today's episode of Game Night, we'll be playing on the front side, which means that we score based on the size of our largest stream. That is a connected line of water tiles based on its length. So for example, this stream is 4 tiles long, it's worth 8 points. Note that you have to choose the shortest line between your tiles. So for example, if I had arranged my tiles like this would only count as being 3 tiles long. Since my water can't choose to flow this way around the longer route, the water will always take the path of least resistance. On your turn, you will choose a batch of 3 of the tiles from the 5 kind of caches in the center. Take those 3 tiles, place them onto your board, following the rules, and then at the end of your turn, we will refill that cache from the supply. The game will end when either there are not enough tiles left in the bag to refill the cache, or when any player has 2 or fewer unoccupied spaces left on their board. When that happens, you'll finish the current round of the game. This marker here will help you keep track of the first player so that you'll know that all the players have taken the same number of turns, and at the end of that last round, every player will calculate their score. Now, there are also animals in this game. In addition to taking and playing 3 tiles on your turn, you may optionally take one of these 5 animal cards from this row in the middle. When you take an animal card, you will place it next to your board. You have 4 slots for animal cards, so once you have 4 animal cards here, you cannot take any more until you make a new space. When you take a card, you will also take cubes and fill in the spaces in the top right corner of that card. This card has 3, so I will take 3 cubes, 1, 2, 3, like so. This card represents squirrels. Each animal card will have a pattern of tiles depicted on the bottom of it. So for example, this one depicts a tree that is 3 tiles large next to a building. And there's a cube on top of the building. So, at any point during my turn, if this pattern is present in any orientation on my board, then I can take one of the cubes off of this card, the lowest numbered one, and I can place it onto the tile in that is the cube is pictured on the card. So for example here, I would put the cube onto this building. Once a cube is on a space, no more tiles or other cubes can be played onto that space. You can only do this once per turn. If, over the course of a few turns, I manage to play all of the cubes off of this card, say like so, then this card is completely scored. I'm going to put it off to the side. It no longer takes up a slot next to my board, so I'm free to take another animal card and put it into that slot if I want. At the end of a player's turn, if they took an animal card, they will flip over another card from the top of the deck to add into the market row. At the end of the game, to score your animals, you will look at the highest uncovered number on each of your animal cards, either in your slots or animal cards that you set off to the side because you used up all of the cubes on that card, and you will add all of those numbers to your score in addition to the points that you scored for the various different landscapes that you added to your board over the course of the game. The player with the highest score will be the winner.